to respond. All right.
That's great. Let me see. For some reason.
So check out the little red triangle. I want to see that because, and this is, I'm actually really glad that this happened because then we can talk about it. So there are things called carrier violations. So depending on the carrier, it might flag. So whether that's AT&T, whether that's T-Mobile, other carriers,
Verizon.
Some of them might flag it. Verizon, yep. So what happens is you can just take over, right? So pretty much what you would do is you would copy that message and you would take out keywords. So like, for example, investment, right? When sellers receive a keyword with the keyword investment, it kind of, some carriers will block it, some carriers won't block it. It's not necessarily the system, it's the carriers. So we're still trying to figure out how to talk about purchasing a property without talking about purchasing a property. And almost everybody doing direct to seller MMS is going to have this little hiccup. So for the sake of responding, I'm going to respond to it. But what you would do here is you would just do a quick copy it, change it, remove the keyword like investment or something like that. Investment and properties, anything like that might get flagged. So you just copy it, paste it, and send a different response. But for the sake of keeping the demo going, since we have limited time, I'm just going to respond to it. So it said, that's great to hear. I'm with Rising Star Investment LLC, and we're looking for properties to invest in. What kind of offer are you considering? Well, if you can pay me $150,000, I would consider it. I like this message here from David. So David says these carriers are like Big Brother, filtering out and censoring valid businesses. Yes, it's a little bit tricky. And I was a little bit disappointed when we first started experiencing the 0007 error, but it's just kind of something we have to deal with and we have to work around with. There's a lot of people scamming over SMS. So you want to be very, very careful, right? And I can understand the carriers filtering out because they don't want people like randomly promoting investment things. Like imagine you randomly get a message about Forex, like that's sus, right? The carriers are going to filter that out. All right, let's wait for the next response. This is a little bit different though, because like we're buying people's houses. So it's kind of, I don't know, it's like a gray zone with the A2P on this, because are we selling a service? Kind of a gray zone. We're technically reaching out to people to buy their house. And this bot is in the final beta stages. So forgive it if it's a little bit glitchy. We might have to restart the demo. Let's see. I think so. Ernesto, do you mind deleting my contact and then bringing it back on? Because we kind of got a rough start on that one. So let's delete it and let's bring it back on.
You're still in the workflow.
I still haven't received the response though. That's why I'm like concerned, because it's been 2 minutes and I haven't received a response. So it's definitely past its valid time frame. And guys, put your questions in the side chat while we are pulling that up. Caitlin says, will you keep this live video up on your page for a little while? I will send it. I will be in and out because of my W-2 and would love to get back and watch again. Yes, this will be archived on my YouTube, so you'll be able to watch it later on.
DTS AI bot. All right, bro. You can
wait for Benson to come on. 5 minutes and we got Benson coming on. I'm super hyped for it. We'll do this direct to seller bot really, really quick, and then we'll bring Benson on. All right, so we're enrolling me on it. Okay, perfect. So Ernesto, you want to read me what the bot is saying?
Yeah. Hey, Nathan. My name is Nathan. Are you still the owner of blank property?
Yes, I am. Okay, so I'm just dictating my message. I sent it to the bot. Awesome. Can you read me what the bot said?
That's great to hear. What's prompting you to consider selling your property?
You know, my great uncle's brother's cousin walked through it with his dirty boots and damaged all the rugs. And now I'm really disappointed and I just no longer want this property. Some weird response. And we'll just give it a moment. We want it to act human-like, so we purposely program a delay into it.
I totally get that. It can be frustrating dealing with property issues. Have you thought about what price you would like to get for it?
I would really like to get anything over $100,000. Okay, what was its
That
response?
sounds reasonable. Can you tell me about the condition of the property overall?
You know, it's fairly good. It's just got bad carpets. All right, what did it say?
Got it. Sounds like it has potential. Is the property currently occupied by you or tenants?
It's a family member living there, but they're not paying rent.
Thanks for sharing that. It sounds like there might be some options to explore. Would you be open to discussing an offer?
I would consider it.
Awesome. I can work with that. Just to get a better idea, how soon are you looking to sell?
I would like to sell within the next 3 months.
Perfect. That gives us some time to work things out. I'll make sure to get you a fair offer. Just to confirm, is there anything else you think I should know about the property?
Yeah, the sprinkler system doesn't work. I like how it even asks like if there's anything additional that it needs to know. That's really cool.
Yeah. Thanks for the heads up. I appreciate the details. I'll take everything into account when preparing your offer. Let's keep in touch.
Cool. So at this point, you'd pass it off to a human, right? So a human now has a pre-vetted lead, and it's going to automatically sort them whether they want an offer, don't want an offer. And Ernesto, can you go to the opportunity section? Let's show what that pipeline looks like. Yep, perfect. Right here. So, oh, there we go. It's already hit the refresh button, and it'll show up again.
It moved it.
Yeah. What it's going to do is it's going to take it out of initial contact and then put it into pre-vetted. So as you can see there, you have pre-vetted leads on autopilot. Now we got a bit of a rough start, so forgive us. This is the first version of the direct to seller bot, and unfortunately, phone carriers are very, very strict. So we got a bit of a rough start, but as this bot gets used more and more, we're going to be pushing out updates. So we're gonna say like, hey, we got a new script for it, and we'll be able to provide you guys with a new script as this bot starts to get some more traction. So yeah, it will pre-vet your leads for you, right? So now an acquisitions person can go in there and they can see, okay, well, this Nathan Harris guy, he has a property, he wants to sell it. This is the general description of the condition, occupancy, motivation, timeline, price. He has all of those details. And you can pass it off to a human to close. So pretty darn cool. If you want to text the bot, I put it up here on the screen. So text me DTS AI, DTS space AI to 813-437-1709 to try talking to the direct to seller bot. Now, I'm super excited because guess who we have? Vanessa, who do you think we have? Yeah,
Benson.
we got Benson. What up, Benson?
What's up,
dude?
What's up,
pleasure to have
man?
you.
It was cool being in the background for a while, like watching you guys operate. That was pretty cool.
Thank you. You know, you came in like right as we were going over the A2P stuff and the texting regulations, and that's actually an interesting thing. Have you been hearing anything about like the filtering of the carriers?
Oh yeah, I mean that's been a thing for a while. You know that the texting is being very scrutinized by different agencies, and it's all with the guise of, you know, customer protection. So yeah, I've heard lots about it.
Yeah, we're trying really hard. It's funny because we've been being pushed to build a direct to seller bot, and we're trying really hard to build a direct to seller bot where we can not get our messages filtered, but it's like we and I think this is why MLS outreach and agent outreach is so great, is because, you know, it's easy to communicate with them versus direct to seller. Because with direct to seller, we want to reach out to them and say, hey, we'd like to buy your property, but we have to indirectly say that so that we don't get filtered. So it's like, it's this weird, ask them the questions, but don't directly ask them the questions because we don't want to use the keywords.
Yeah, it's a balance. It'd be nice to know like what those keywords were. Like, is there a list anywhere? Like you can just be like, okay, there's the ones you just can't say.
There's some people that have like taken a good guess at the list, like where they've like formulated a list of like, this is kind of generally what they block. But it's interesting because like each carrier blocks different words, right? So sometimes investment will go through, sometimes it won't. Sometimes sell your property will go through, sometimes it won't. So it's like, and I tried that at first when we were building the bots of like, let's not include those keywords. But then it was like, it's super, super weird. Like trying to buy your house without saying I'm trying to buy your house.
Yeah, it's totally indirect. But that can work too. I mean, that's a strategy. Even if you're on the phone with somebody, is being kind of indirect and, you know, making people feel comfortable and not scaring them off with like, hey, can I buy your house? Like you got to work into it and you build their trust first.
I agree. But you know what I like more than direct to seller? Agent outreach. Chocolate. Agent outreach. I love it. I go on the MLS. Not the actual MLS. I use Privy, which has MLS access. and I find myself leads super duper quickly, and boom, make an offer on them. I find myself buyers on Privy and whatnot. So let's use that transition. And Benson, can you introduce yourself to everybody here? I'm sure everybody knows you already, but for the sake of it, can you introduce yourself and tell us
Sure.
how you play a part in our business?
Awesome. Yeah. Thanks for having me, guys. It's good to see you back together, by the way, too. Um, making waves. So yeah, I'm
Yeah.
Benson Juarez. I'm a longtime real estate investor, agent. I've been in the business for over 20 years. And boy, I've done everything from wholesale, fix and flip, buy and hold. I just did my third PML deal this week. So I'm kind of putting my hands in a bunch of different things. There's so many ways to make money in this business, you guys. So yeah, I'm happy to be here. It's really cool to be part of this phase because I don't have a bunch going on specifically in the AI world. And obviously there's a bunch of buzz about it. And for a lot of people, it's kind of a cool thing to play around with. But it's awesome how you're taking some things that are proven, like a good CRM, go high level, and then you're incorporating different elements and you're using all these different tools to really make AI work for them and not just be a tool, like a fun thing to play with. It's not making them any money. And that's what you're doing. Like you're really like on the cutting edge right now, Nathan, in the real estate space, and helping people. So everybody that's here, like you're in the right place. Like it's a good thing you're here. And if you can't catch all of this, make sure you go to Nathan's YouTube channel and watch that stuff over again, because this is going to be the foundation of what's to come in the real estate space.
Thank you, Benson. A really great example of it is Anthony. He drives an 18-wheeler truck, so there's no way he can be texting and driving. Like he's either going to get fired or something worse. So what he did is he had these agent outreach bots reaching out to agents for him, generating leads for him. And then when you would pull over at the end of the day, he'd just look, oh, what leads do I have in my system? Put that under contract, and boom, he made $8,000 within the first month. And he came on the show because he was so excited and he wanted to tell everybody about it.
Insane.
Yeah.
And that's that's the process in action, and it's real results. And he's just doing what you're teaching. And forgive me if I'm wrong, but you're giving this away for free.
Yes. We give away our intellectual property for free. We give away our snapshot. So of course, just in the sake of full transparency, you do need to run it off of Go High Level. So Go High Level is its own separate business, and you need to have that CRM, but we give away our intellectual property, which is the snapshot. So we'll give away our snapshot, the template, the how to set up the bots and everything. And yeah, it's freaking awesome. But Benson, dude, I am so grateful for you, because these bots would not be able to run if it wasn't for you and the team at Privy. So thank you so much for that. Thank you, bro.
Oh yeah. We've got an amazing team, man. Like we just got so many good people there who are, providing good customer service and training, and, our developers and my business partner and, brainchild really of Privy, Scott Fall. It's just an amazing team. We're always growing and we're launching new markets. We just launched Columbus this week, which is been a highly sought out market. We already had Cleveland, but we're in over 120 markets with direct to MLS data. And just so everyone's clear too, like if we say, okay, we're not in your market, we still have like prop stream level data in every market. We just are stacking that direct to MLS data on top of the kind of county record and public record and distressed seller leads. We're putting the MLS on top of it so you can more accurately comp properties out, so you can get agent information, so you can see before and after data, you can see photos, and everything's just more up to date. Like it literally updates multiple times an hour, which if you're just in a normal platform that doesn't have direct to MLS, it could be weeks before you know about a sale. And when you're talking about buyers, like how powerful is it if you pull a buyer's list today and somebody flipped a house an hour ago and you're calling them and you're congratulating them, and they're like, how do you even know about that?
Yeah, totally. And that's where we get all our buyers' data from. We pull it from Privy, we put it on the buyer bot and let the buyer bot go to work and pre-vet that buyer. And we get it so quickly. Like I remember the other day during one of our live streams, You mentioned like how important it is to rapidly get onto that buyer data, right? You want to be like the first to the punch, because if you come in a little bit late and a couple other wholesalers called them first, maybe they're not as interested anymore in working with you. But if you come in right after they flip the property, and as soon as that data hits, you're the first one calling, they're still waiting on a property, they're very excited. So we've been trying to speed to it as quick as possible. Benson, are you able to screen share and kind of like give us a demo of how Privy works and how we can play it in?
Yeah, for sure. Let me get that set up real quick.
Sweet.
Hey guys, I'll use this time to let you guys know I have to go. I have to do some stuff with my kids, but it's been a pleasure. Thank you for having me, Nathan.
My pleasure, bro. Thank you for all your contributions in building this out.
Yeah, thank you guys. Stay for the rest of it, because I know Nathan has a big surprise for you guys, and
awesome.
Mostly
Good
the
to see you,
value you
man.
get out of this. See you guys.
Appreciate you, bro. Adios.
All right, so I'm just going to get this set up real quick. But I do want to mention too, again, about, you know, how important it is. Like, I think you coined the term, it's something like this, like public records don't lie, right? And or it's county records don't lie, and that's so important. But again, the county records don't lie, but they are delayed. So when you're talking about building a buyer's list and tracking investment activity, and we know that a person, you know, flipped a house or bought a rental property, and we know that from the MLS, like we know about it instantly. So that like that first mover activity is super powerful. And if you leverage it the right way, like you can be the first one to talk to these buyers. You can be the first one to congratulate them, the first one to demonstrate to them that you are valuable, and show them that you're somebody that they should be working with. That's such a powerful thing.
Totally. You know, I see a lot of people, especially people just getting started out, they're like going to Facebook and they're collecting their buyers on Facebook. And then they end up calling me a little bit down the road when one of those Facebook buyers were floppy, and maybe they weren't actually a buyer. Maybe they were just a wholesaler, right? And often a lot of new people will get very disappointed with the harsh truth that Facebook buyers suck. You can find some good buyers, but for the most part, Facebook buyers are wholesalers pretending to be buyers. However, when you use a powerful software like Privy, the tax records don't lie. The county records, tax records, whatever you want to call them, they don't lie. Like this person either fix and flip this property, or they're not on the tax records. They're not on the county records. So that's what I love about them, because I know that I'm dealing with serious buyers. I know what they're purchasing. I know the price that they're purchasing at, and they're legit. They're legit. So when I send them a deal, they're not going to waste my time and pretend to be a buyer, but actually try to wholesale it.
Yep. 100%. Super powerful. Cool. So you got my screen.
Yep.
You know, many of you maybe have seen Privy before, maybe you haven't. So I'll just give you kind of an update. But, you know, one of the things that popped up right here in the bottom right-hand corner is that we just launched that Columbus market. So it popped up. There's a bunch of like training and access to stuff right here, but this is where you get all your updates. And then right here's the coverage map. So earlier I was talking to you about how we have got that direct to MLS data. Wherever you see that blue is where we have that already launched. The pink or the red ones, those are ones we're working on, are coming soon. And then where you see like these yellow and grayish areas, those are the ones that are county record, public record data, or what we call third-party MLS listing data. So it's still listing data if you're there, if you're doing on market, or if you want to research properties, you can still do it just like you would in any other platform. It's just that in these areas that are blue, you really have like the pinnacle of access to the best data available, the same data that agents and appraisers use. And then tracking markets is crucially important, because what I know about investors is that most people will invest where they live, or they'll look for deals where they live. And we're talking about wholesaling here, right? So wholesaling is a comparable driven approach. Like comps is the key. If you have no comps, you have no, you don't have the comparable data to analyze a home, you won't have any demand, right? So comps are your competition. And it's sort of counterintuitive Nathan, that people are like, oh, I don't want any competition. So they'll go and they'll look in an area where no one's flipping. But guess what? You don't have if there's no competition. You don't have comps.
You know, the analogy that I use, Benson, is would you rather start a Walmart in the desert, or would you rather start a Walmart in a town that already has 3 Walmarts? Yeah, you know, you're going to have to compete, but there's actually people to do business with versus being in the middle of nowhere where there's no competition, but there's also like no people to do business with.
Yep. And you can't analyze a property either. So we've all had that person send us a deal, right? Like we're all hungry for leads, right? So somebody sends you a property and you're like, oh, I got a lead. So you spend all day trying to comp it out, and you're probably in rural America. Maybe it's the closest house is 2 miles away. And so you're wondering like, well, what is this thing even worth? Right? Maybe you can't even find like sales to use as comps, but there's certainly not going to be enough fix and flip comps that will help you determine after repair value. And after repair value is the key to all of this. If you can't find comps to prove ARV to yourself, you're not going to be able to know what to offer on it. And then you're certainly not going to be able to prove to a buyer what that thing is worth, but those buyers probably aren't going to be out there anyway looking because there's no demand. The flips aren't happening. So it really is kind of a mind shift in thinking, okay, I need to be where the investors are doing deals. So they know there's demand. So I'll help solve the disposition problem of the business and having people want that house. And then I'll also have the data that I need to analyze it. And so it's very easy to analyze a property when you're in a high investor activity area. And the way you find those is right over here on the left. So we got this really easy tool. We call it investor activity. And if I click this button that says fix and flip, that's going to plot on the map where all the fix and flips that have happened nationwide in the last 12 months. And so it's actually like a cycling. It's always checking every day. So something that closed 366 days ago will fall off, and the one that happened today will pop up on the map. And so what this is basically like a heat map.
That's
wherever
a
you
lot
see
of fix and flips, 167,000.
Yeah, and it's only showing what's on the map. So I just shifted this down a bit, so it brought in some more stuff from the northern part of the country. But that's a lot, right? So that's where stuff is happening. So this heat map is where you see high, clusters of activity. You want large circles, you want high numbers. Those are the markets you should target. But you want to avoid areas that don't have blue or have low numbers of activity. So like Dodge City had one deal. Well, just because it's blue doesn't mean I'm going to go there and do a deal. Like it's all opportunity cost. Every minute you spend looking for a deal in like Dodge City is a minute you're not looking for a deal in Kansas City. So quite a bit more activity right here. So if you use this strategy, and I call it the reverse REI strategy, where you basically think several steps ahead and then you reverse engineer it. Where are my buyers going to be? Where's the data going to be that I need to analyze my properties? And then you go and you source leads there. So if you're going direct to seller, maybe you're pulling lists from Privy. You can pull lists right here in the filter. We give you up to 10,000 downloads per month. Then you can do stuff like foreclosures, zombie properties, vacancies, tired landlords. You can even stack lists like maybe absentee owner and vacant, right? 2 levels of motivation there. Maybe even throw in foreclosure in there. But every time you stack another list, you're going to have less matches because it's an and kind of search. Absentee owner and vacant and foreclosure is going to have way less leads. So you might burn through that list pretty quickly if you put too many levels of motivation. So sometimes it's good to like just pick one, generate that list, and then you can use it to go to direct to seller with the bot, or you can use it to find buyers, right? So there's different kinds of buyers. So everything I just showed you on the map, these are all those 169,000. Those are all fix and flip buyers, right? Fix and flip buyers are great because they're doing multiple deals per year. But what we know about fix and flippers is they typically have to get something pretty deeply discounted for the numbers to make sense. And it's usually right around 70, 65% ARV or lower. And it makes it harder to find. So let's not forget there's other kinds of buyers out there, and they actually happen to be a lot more of them. And that's right here, absentee owners. So it's more than 10
what
to
are the
1.
absentee owners? They're like landlord buyers, or
They're landlords. Absentee just means they own a house, but they don't live in it.
Gotcha.
Right. So when we could actually export an absentee owner list from Privy, and the way that we identify that is that the subject property address, the house that's being rented, is different than the mailing address of the owner. Those are different, and they're considered an absentee owner. And that's how you know that property is probably a rental. Now, is there a possibility that the house might be like a second home? Yeah, that would also follow into it, but that isn't a category that the title company tracks. It just knows that the mailing address is different. So you might have some people who drop into that bucket.
I love this, Benson, because landlord buyers will pay. Yo, that is a cool cup. That is amazing. Let's see that cup one more time. Look at that. The sock monkey cup. That's amazing.
Somebody told me I look like this monkey, and I didn't know if I was offended or if I should just laugh, but
hold on. Hold it up to you and smile.
What's that?
Hold it up to you and smile. I can see some resemblance. Dude, but I love this. I love this because absentee owners will pay more money, right? They don't need to budget for a second set of closing costs. They don't need a budget to pay a realtor on the second sale. So they're able to pay more money, which means these are really, really profitable buyers, these absentee owners.
100%. And you mentioned two really good things about the cost, but also don't forget, everybody that's listening here is like, they're still going to make money, but they don't have to realize their gains immediately like a flipper does. Like they make their money as soon as they sell the house. Does a landlord want a discount? Well, for sure they do. They'd love to get a house at 60% of the ARV, but then they're harder to find. And so for them, they might buy a house at 80% or 90%. I remember a few years back, they were buying them at 100% of the after repair value, as long as they made money on cash flow. So cash flow is the major thing that they're tracking. And that's another one of the things that we added into Privy recently. One of our new data sets is rental data. Now, we won't show this right now, but we have a whole new filter that is all about long-term analysis of properties, cash flow analysis, cash on cash return, cap rates, analyze gross yield. We'll show that here in a moment. But right now we're talking about buyers. So if I wanted to export all the buyers on this, I could actually download 9,866 buyers into a spreadsheet, and we give you 10,000 a month. So, you want to be careful about, taking too much out in 1 month if you're going to need, more. So it depends on what your strategy is, but 10,000 a month is the cap. And then you can use the buyer bot for that. Right, Nathan?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I would love to actually give a demo of how I do it. Thank you so much, Benson, dude. I love the way that you explain it. I am not nearly as thorough as you are when explaining it. So thank you so much for that. I'm going to pull up my screen share here, and I'm going to just show people. Let me log in first. I'm going to show you guys how I set it up. How I download.
We'll get into more here too, because there's some other things I want to show about this after you show what you're going to do here.
Perfect. Please do. Okay. So how do we pull buyers for your buyer bot? Super easy. And tell me if I'm going too fast, because it's this easy. Like Pace says, if you blink, you'll miss it. So don't blink. Okay. So I'm gonna say it a couple of times. So you see this button right here, fix and flip button. Click that. Okay. Give it a second. There's a lot of data here. Okay, boom. Now search up your target market. So for example, mine is Tampa. There we go. Now we're looking at fix and flips in Tampa. Now I want Tampa Metropolitan. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this little pencil icon in the top right, and I'm going to circle the Tampa Metropolitan area. Which then opens it up even more. And look at that. We have 2,059 buyers. Now, that's going to start as the past 12 months. So what I like to do is I like to blast the past month of buyers, because I've already blasted the past 12 months of buyers. So I'm now on top of it. So now I'm just blasting the most recent buyers. So within the past month, we have 168 people that have fixed and flipped properties in the Tampa metropolitan area. And I can just click the download button. And then what I'll end up with, and let me just upload it to my drive so we can look at it in Google Sheets. Second here. Open with Google Sheets. Okay. What we'll end up with is we'll end up with a spreadsheet just like this, where we have street, city, state, zip. There's an abundance of information here, like a lot of really good information. You can use this information for advanced data analytics. But the most important thing here is the property address and then the person that flipped it. So right here, we have, let me expand it. Previous owner, full name. So what I like to do is I like to put a filter on it. So I'll hit the top line and then I will put a filter and I will click clear and then I'll search up LLC and select all the LLCs. I'll search up Inc., select all the Inc. I'll search up Corp and select all the Corp. We got that. Okay, cool. And then what that will leave me with, that will leave me with all the people that purchased it in an entity. So now there's an abundance of data here, and I love that I get to see the abundance of data. But for the sake of making it super simple for you guys, I am going to niche it down just to the absolutely essential data. Cool. So now we have property address that was flipped, and we have the person that flipped it. Now, if you want to skip trace this, you can either send it into a skip tracing company. And Benson, you have a skip tracing company that you'd recommend, right?
I do. Yeah. It's called bestskiptracer.com. Let me get you a link for that, because it's what's so cool about bestskiptracer.com is they have a 2-step skip tracing process. And it actually has a person involved in it, because it requires them to actually pull Secretary of State data. So you're not skip tracing the LLC, you're skip tracing the managers or the directors or the registered agents of that LLC. And that is, you'll get a much better hit rate on that. So let me grab that for you.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, so pretty much you have 2 routes. You can either upload it to a skip tracing thing, or you could skip trace it yourself. If let's say you're low on funds, right? And you want to skip trace it to yourself. Then what I would recommend doing is just insert a column to the right, 2 columns to the right, and one will be name and one will be phone number. And then you can just copy the previous owner's LLC name, and you can go to another website called Open Corporates. And do a search for them. As you can see here, Kevin, December LLC, agent address right here. Copy it. And then you can go to another website called True People Search. And you can do an address search. And we're looking for Kevin. Here we go. We got a couple of different relatives, as you can see. We have Kristen December. We have Kevin, not December, DEC. Kevin DEC, and then we have Kevin Jr. and Kevin Sr. So I think it's Kevin Sr. I'm pretty sure. And we can just copy his phone number right there. We can paste that in the phone number box. We can copy the name, and we can paste that in the name box. So that's the manual process of skip tracing. Some of you guys might do that. Some of you guys might prefer to just outsource it to a skip tracing service. And let me pop that link. Thank you, Benson, for the link. I'm going to pop that in the comment section. Boom. Awesome. All right. So that's how you pull a list. And then what you'll end up with is you'll end up with a full-on list. Let me show you guys what that looks like once it's fully skip traced. You'll end up with a full-on list like this. Now, YouTube by the way, YouTube, if YouTube gets mad at me, these are all public records. We found these through Open Corporates and True People Search. So YouTube, don't take my content down. Okay, now that I said that for the YouTube mods, you'll end up with a list. You'll end up with a list like this, and you just upload that into your buyer bot and let it rip. So Benson, I'm going to pass it back to you. You have something cool, don't you?
Yeah, I wanted to show. We had a really good question from somebody in there. It looks like Michael Goolsby had a really good question about finding buyers who have purchased more than one property. And so I want to show you guys what I just did here. Well, Nathan was showing you his process. So what I did was, okay, one second, present. All right. So what I started off with is we had the high level investor activity map, and then I found a hot area which I like, and it was the Kansas City market. And I drilled down even further into an area that had high investor activity, and then I circled it. And then what I did after that is I went in and I switched the filter where I unchecked fix and flip, right? Because we're not looking for fix and flippers anymore. And then I came all the way down here and I selected timeline all. So you want to do that when you're looking for landlord buyers, because it doesn't matter when they bought the house. They could have bought it 50 years ago. We just want all the landlords in a particular area. So make sure this is all. Then I selected absentee owner. Okay. And then after that, then it showed me that there's 10,000. And I didn't want all full 10,000. So I drilled down a little bit further, downloaded that spreadsheet, and it was about a 6,000 person list. After that, what I did is I came into the spreadsheet here, and
I think you gotta change windows that you're sharing. We still see privy.
Okay. I did a window.
I think you have to do entire screen.
There you go. You are correct, sir. Are you always right, Nathan? It's so annoying.
I grew up with tech, bro. I'm a nerd. What can I say?
No, it's one of the coolest things. Like, back in the day, there was like the jocks and the nerds, right? And it's like now the nerds are just like running the world because they're just way smarter.
Make a lot of money. Look at Silicon Valley.
Yeah, Mark no kidding.
Elon Musk. Those guys are really wealthy.
Mm-hmm. So here's that spreadsheet. It's got like 6,000 people on it. So you start off on the home tab is where when you first open up a spreadsheet, you're going to switch over to the data tab. And then you want to come up here to the upper left-hand corner. You want to select so the whole spreadsheet is gray, not just a specific column. But the one we're going to key off of is this one right here. It's column X. And column X is business owner name. So the owner business name. So I come up here to this little button that says sort. It's giving me the sorting options. I'm going to click the drop down here that says sort by. Now I'm going to scroll all the way down to owner one business name. So I want to sort it by that because what we're trying to do is we want to sort it. It'll sort it in alphabetical order, but it's going to put all of the owner business names next to each other, right? We're sorting by name alphabetically. Now that I did that, I come over here and now it's sorting. So it's starting off with the numbers first. If I scroll down a little bit here, this is what you see. So 2021 Casey Reynolds LLC. They have about 6 properties. 2118 Fund LLC. They've got about 10. And you scroll down and you start to see all of these companies that have properties, multiple properties, like Michael was asking. How do you find those? This is how you do it. This is how you do it.
I like that. I didn't know that you could do that within Excel. That's really cool.
Yeah, it's really efficient. So 39th State Line Road LLC. So if you are looking for buyers, I can certainly see a use case where going after people that have purchased multiple properties is important.
Mm-hmm.
But some of these,
especially with the landlord buyers, right? Because the landlord buyers, if they only own one property, it's not as likely that they're a landlord buyer. But if they own more than one property, then it's far more likely that they're a landlord buyer. So if you want to like make the highest and best use of your time, go after the ones that own multiple properties before you go after the ones that only own one or two.
Yep. And here's the great thing about landlord buyers is they're buyers, but guess what? They also might be sellers. They have multiple properties. Then do they have anything in their portfolio that maybe not performing? Maybe something they just want to dump. So the hardest part about anybody, landlords, buyers, sellers, agents, is getting them on the phone. And if you can get a landlord on the phone and you ask them if they're buying right now and they say, you know what, we're not buying right now, we're good on our portfolio, it's performing, then the next question is, oh, that's awesome. Well, is there anything in your portfolio you considered selling? Right? You already got them on the phone. You're just switching the goal. And by the way, it can go the other way too. If you're calling landlords as potential sellers and they say, yeah, I don't have anything I want to sell right now, well, then the next question is, well, are you buying? Because this is an area where I'm marketing. I'm pulling in lots of leads here. Maybe I can send you something that makes some sense. What's your buy box? Right? Or, maybe you do a little more subtly than that, but landlords are amazing. There's way more of them than their flippers. They don't need as much of a discount. They're making their money in cash flow over time, appreciation, depreciation. Yes, they want a discount, but that's not their main motivation most of the time. But that's how you do it. Really good question.
I love that. I love that. I wonder, I think we could pull something off with ChatGPT as well. So we're able to sort the list based on the amount of occurrences, right? So I wonder if we could take that same list, put it into ChatGPT, and if we could say, please review this list and label the amount of occurrences each buyer shows up, keep the first occurrence, but remove the extra occurrences and label the amount of times that they showed up, something like that. Are you able to send me a Google Drive link for that? I would love to try nipping down that actual list if you're up for it.
Yeah, I'll send it to you after.
Okay, cool. Or here, I'll actually, let me share my screen. Let's go back to
Privy. Yeah, I want to say too, for that person, can you sort buyers in the last 90 days? You can. So in the filter, with the date range, when I pick timeline all, there's some kind of like easy ones, like past month, past 6 months, but there is another option here that says date range. So you just go date range and we just go 3 months back. So we do April 31st. So just choose that and you just change this to 4. And that's going to give you the last 90 days.
Nice.
Yep. So you absolutely can. So just be conscious of this date range, because that's something that you will have to adjust based off of the output that you want, whether it's looking for deals to buy, building buyers list, looking for off market leads. Be conscious of this timeline.
Awesome.
Nathan, did you want me to send you that now, or we're talking about after the fact?
I don't know. We can kind of do whatever we want. So we could do it now, but I also there's so many things to Privy that I want to show off. So now my mind is on, let's show them how fast we can find a deal on Privy. Because I think, I could nerd out on the advanced data analytics and like sorting a spreadsheet and whatnot, but that's cool and all. But what's cooler? Finding a deal and making 10K right away, right? I think that's
oh yeah.
Cool. So do you want to do the timer thing with me?
Yeah, let's do it. I love this.
Okay. So I got my screen pulled up here and I want to see how fast I can find a deal in Florida. Florida is my market. I know Florida like the back of my hand, so I'm going to do Florida. But I would like for Benson to just throw me out a random major market in Florida. Don't give me a place with like 500 people, but give me like a major market. So like that could be like Tampa, Orlando, Jacksonville, Miami, any of the metropolitan cities there. Just give me something random.
Cool. Let's do Jacksonville.
Jacksonville. Okay. So you want to give me a countdown and then start the timer, and I'll see how fast I can find a deal in Jacksonville.
Right. You're going to start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to search up our target market, Jacksonville, Florida. Okay. Next, we're going to click the fix and flip button, and then we're going to click find similar active deals. Okay. And it looks like there's a lot on the market right now. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. We're still looking at a lot. Okay. Here we go. Now we can already tell that there's distress here. All right. You want to hit the stop button? Okay. So what we have,
seconds.
35 seconds. Damn. It's wild. Wow. So I just found a deal in Jacksonville in 35 seconds, and it was listed 0 days ago. So this is like just fresh to the market. This one here, it's clearly something with value add opportunity. I mean, just look at this bathtub. This bathtub is full of like soot or dust or something like that. You can tell that it's been neglected.
That's human funk.
Funk. Ugh, gross. Then we have, like, look at the roof here. The roof, I don't know if that's something falling on it, but looks like it's not being cared for properly. The interior of the property, I wouldn't be surprised if there's cobwebs. The walls look a little dirty. Kitchen, formaldehyde countertops. You see these plugs as well? These plugs, I'm pretty sure those aren't GFCI. They don't look like GFCI, and they're that close to the sink, which means that the wiring on this house is old.
Can I stop you real quickly here? Because I don't know if you just had a Freudian slip or if you intended to say formaldehyde countertops.
Oh, what is? No, I don't think so. What's the proper word for it?
Formica.
Formica. What is formaldehyde?
Formaldehyde is like it's a preserver of human.
What?
Not human, but like bio material. Like you stick like you remember back in the day in science class, they have like a baby pig in a jar. The stuff around it, the liquid is formaldehyde.
No way, dude. I've been watching too much Breaking Bad. I'm getting my words mixed up.
Oh my God, that was awesome.
Well, I mean, this property looks like it's been preserved. It looks like they haven't done anything to it. That's funny. That is hilarious. Yeah, so you guys can reach out to this agent and you can make an offer on this property.
Yeah. Well, let's look at the comps. Let's look at the comps on that one real quick. Let's see. Why is it a deal?
Okay. Oh, dude, look at this, bro. 99,000 list price. And then if we go down to the comps, I mean, just the quick comps around it, right? 219, 230, 230 here. And these are quick comps. So like, you know, if you're a little bit new to real estate, these are, oh my goodness, these are a lifesaver because these will like automatically show you properties that are very similar to your subject property. And just looking at this, like this is listed for, you know, close to approximately 50% of ARV. So it's already within the worth a shot territory.
Yeah. Scroll down a bit, if you will, and go to the comps down there, and then see how there's the light gray and then there's the black on those different line items. Those are flips. So remember, you guys, when I was saying earlier, you want to be where people are flipping because you need comps that were flipped to prove after repair value. This is a perfect example of that. So sort by distance. So we want all the comps that are closest. And then if you look down there, there's probably like 5 or 6 comps that were flipped. And one of them, that one that's yellow, is pending, right? So that one's going to sell soon.
Mm-hmm. And what does green mean? This green
that's
one here.
Active. That's an active comp.
Okay.
Red is sold, and that's pending. So the one on Brentwood is pending at 210. The other one on Brentwood down there is sold for 170. And then look, it automatically calculates the percentage of ARV for you. So that the percentage of ARV column, it's doing the math for you. So it's dividing the sales price of the comp into the price of the subject property, and it's giving you the percentage of ARV without even looking for a discount.
It's really awesome. Now, when I'm comping, What I like to do is I like to use the sold properties first. If I can't use the sold properties, then I lean on the active and the pending. But I think active and pending is really important for them to be here because it helps us understand where the market's at. Like this
Yep.
guy here, they're coming in at 219. Are they really going to sell for 219? Probably not. Everybody lists a little bit higher, but it's a good idea of where the market's at, as well as these under contract ones. If I switch it to sold, now that I'm in the sold category, what's the difference between the blue sold and the red sold?
The blue sold are the ones that are in the investment tab before. So the ones in the investment tab that are blue, those are all statuses. So click investment tab at the top next to sold.
Yep.
So these are all the ones that say that this is better than 75% of the ARV.
What defines investment?
It means it meets your investment criteria. So when you ran find similar active deals, our investment criteria, the default is 75% of the ARV or lower.
Gotcha.
Everything that's blue, if you looked at all the percentage of ARV, they're all going to be lower. That percentage is going to be lower than 75% for all of them. If you switch to sold, and you're going to see something, go to sold, and something that's red. See how that says 200%, 111, 125. Those didn't match our investment deal criteria because those prices are actually lower than the ask price of the house. Those are probably all being renovated right now, by the way.
Gotcha. Ooh, that's a good tip.
So it's important to pay attention. That's why I like to leave it on the investment tab, is because then you just find the ones that are sold in the investment tab, and the math has already been done for you.
So quick numbers here. What would you place as an ARV on this, quick numbers wise?
So if you want to rely on the sold, so you just scroll down and let's go down to the one that's on Wood Creek Lane. That's really close. It's only 0.3 miles away. Click the little I information icon on the far left, not that one.
Oh, it's gone.
Go up to the top and click reset.
There's a reset button? Where?
Yeah, it's right below the map on the right.
Reset. There we go.
So let's find that one again.
What we did is we did
right there. It's right there at the top. Okay, there you go.
Woodbine Street.
Purchase for 105. Scroll down a little bit.
Here we go.
Right there, Wood Creek. So it's the I next to the I information. Okay. There you go.
Not the eyeball, but the I of the letter.
Yes, there you go. So if you click that, this is the flip, right?
Wow.
So you can see that obviously this one was flipped. Now, if you scroll down and go to the before and after tab, and this shows the before and after on the deal itself. Keep going. There's the before and after. So this property was purchased for $105,000 right there. Sold for $240,000. They had a gross profit of $99,000, which means they bought it at 51% of the ARV. We can actually get ours for $99,000, $6,000 less than that flip that was purchased recently. And that's without even negotiating a discount.
So there's already like a 5K spread here ready just for somebody to grab.
Ready for somebody to grab. And maybe it's the person who flipped that house. The house we were just looking at is a buyer, right? And this house that they flipped is a comp of the house we're looking at. So we know that the house that we're looking at meets their buy box. We don't have to wonder if this house is interesting to them. We know they would be interested in it because they just flipped a house that has similar property characteristics as that house. So you can see how this really takes out a lot of the guesswork, you guys. You use this local investment activity as a model for what a successful deal looks like, number one. And number two, you know that these properties that we just found match the buy box of the buyers that are flipping in that area because they just did it.
That's so cool and such a great example. You know what's awesome about this is not just that can we have those good comps and we know that these are buyers, but we can literally track down these buyers, like just going down to the public records section and clicking on property history. Boom, right there we have the person's name that bought it, right? So this right here, the most recent sales date is 5th month 28th day, and what that means is this person, LMS Dream Contracting, sold it after they renovated it. So as you can see here, LMS Dream Contracting purchased it in the 4th month, 3rd day, 2024. And then a month later, after renovating it, about 2 months, as you can see, because it was the beginning of April and the end of May. So about 2 months later, they sold it to a traditional buyer. Now you can take that info and you can reach out to that buyer. So you can go to open corporates. And if you're doing like one by one, open corporates is great. Go to open corporates, click on them. We're looking for Ralph Lil Beckford, and here's his address. And then we'll go to a website called True People Search and search him up. Ralph Beckford.
There he is.
Boom. There we go. We have a buyer. So essentially, Benson, what we could do here is we could put this property under contract for around 99,000. Obviously, try to go lower and increase your spreads. And then Ralph Beckford here. Let me pull it back to Privy. So we can put this property right here under contract for approximately 99,000. And then we could go to Ralph Beckford afterwards, and we could say, hey, we saw that you flipped. Which one is it here? This one, I believe. We saw that you flipped 3702 Wood Creek Lane. I have another deal under contract in the area. Are you still buying? And most likely he's going to be like, yeah, I'm still buying. I just sold that property. I need another deal. And boom, you can sell it to him. And Ralph, not only that, but Ralph purchased this property for 105. And the property that you have, you can lock it up for around 99. So I mean, real estate is easy, guys. At the end of the day, this is
so
pretty straightforward.
But and also too, don't forget, you guys, that those cold calls can be difficult sometimes, because they're wondering like, who are you? How'd you get my information? But if you come out of the gates and you're like, hey, Ralph, congratulations on that flip you just did on Wood Creek Lane. I was just doing a little bit of research in the area and I saw that you flipped this house. And by the way, it looks amazing. Like, it's completely unrecognizable from when you bought it back in April. But I really got to say, like, it looks really nice. And gosh darn, you flipped that thing in less than 60 days. Like, you guys are complete pros. How did you do it so quickly? Yeah. Right. And then all of a sudden that cold call is a warm call. And Ralph's like, oh yeah, well, and then they're telling a story and they're getting into it and you're building rapport and you're building trust. And then when you get to the point when you ask if they're buying, Ralph's going to be like, hell yeah, you got something for me? What do you got? And so now that's someone that you can call, and they're going to, if you text blast a property out that's under contract, if you send an email and they're like, oh yeah, I talked to Nathan, right? I remember Nathan. He's a cool guy. What does Nathan have, right? But if you didn't have that conversation, you didn't build rapport, you didn't build that trust on that call, you're just one of 1,000 other wholesalers that are trying to reach out to Ralph. And Ralph now is like, okay, Nathan's my friend. I want to do business with him. I'm checking his email. I'm checking his text.
Yeah, totally. Benson, I like this question, and I think you're perfect to answer this question. David Doughton says, he says, can we find buyers for buy and hold pretty houses buyers like hedge funds? Now, aren't you building a dispo platform for this?
I am. Yeah, I am. And before we talk about that, by the way, some of the, and I don't have a list, but there are some well-known LLC names that hedge funds operate. And so with a little bit of research, you can find out who they are. So if you look at that spreadsheet that I just showed you, I guarantee you that many of those companies that have multiple properties are hedge funds. They are. It might do a little bit of research to figure out which ones are, but it won't be that hard to figure out. But if you do want a dispo platform, I am building one.
You want to share?
I will get you a link real quick. And I didn't, but it's free to join. We are setting up all of the hedge fund scenarios right now with those people, and so those people will be available soon. But let me just get you guys a link here, and it's free to use for disposition. The buyer of the property pays a small fee.
I love that. Do you want me to pull your screen up, or?
1 second here.
Okay.
And then I'll just give you this link. And I'll put this in the chat for everyone. So obviously, when you, excuse me, obviously when you guys are building your buyers list, it's important to talk to as many people as you can, but you get to a certain point where you maybe already talked to everyone, or you have your niche, you got your core buyers, but you still want more people in the space that can help you out. This is a great place, and it's free to post your properties there. So I definitely recommend you guys check this out. And one of the coolest things that we're working on right now, and I can't get into it too much, but I will tease you with this, is that you guys are doing AI, right? The next evolution in real estate acquisition is fractional ownership.
Ooh.
So we're going to be setting up a partnership with a company called Ripple. If you've heard of Ripple, Ripple is the blockchain smart contracts company. Venmo, Apple, PayPal, many other large companies have switched over their payment systems to Ripple because it's end-to-end money transferring instantly, not through wires or anything else like that. But they also have a token called XRP, which I'm not here to sell, but we're going to use their platform to basically give everybody the opportunity to buy and sell fractional ownership using tokens in any real estate asset in the world. So if you wanted to own $1,000 token in a 50-door apartment building, you could do it. Or if you have a property you want to sell and it's a normal fix and flip, and you want to sell tokens of, a $200,000 property, $1,000 tokens, you could absolutely sell, $200,000 tokens, and then people can buy those things. So this is something that we plan on rolling out. This is not a part of the Privy platform. This is something separate. Look for that in the next probably 90 days. It could be sooner. We may have a beta that we can demonstrate here soon, and then we'll have to figure out a way to work together on that, Nathan.
I think that's so cool, and I would love to work together on that. The potential I see in that is doing like fundraising to put together big deals. So essentially, we could have like a top dog that has the actual American dollars on hand to purchase the property, and then we can then split it up amongst multiple little dogs to purchase their ownership in it, and it just makes it super simple. And we don't have to worry about all the strict scrutiny of splitting it up if it's crypto.
Yeah, crypto is. I mean, there's still a lot of people who are scared about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency in general, but let's not confuse that with the blockchain, right? Like they're really two separate things. And so a lot more companies are going to be starting to do transactions on the blockchain. It's safer, it's more secure, it's more transparent. So there's a lot of benefits to it. And big companies like BlackRock are tokenizing a lot of their real estate assets right now. But it's still really, really expensive to do. And it's not within reach of the average people like us to do it. And that's what we're working on. So, keep an eye out for more information about that. There's more to come.
That's so awesome. Benson, man, I am so grateful for you. You helped me make a lot of money. You and the Privy team. So thank you, bro. Thank you. So if people want to get Privy, the website is privy.pro, right? Let me pull this up here. What is the pricing of Privy like? Like
the normal pricing without your amazing discount is $150 a month. Right. Okay. So if you were going to pay for Privy for 12 months, it's over $1,700 a year, which, by the way, you guys, is well worth it. Like, you close one wholesale deal and you've already bought Privy for 2 or 3 years, even if it's a low assignment fee. But with this promo code Nathan Harris, you get 30% off either the monthly. Actually, it would bring 30% off your first month. If you go on the annual plan, which I would suggest, it brings it down to about $1,000 for the whole year, which is crazy. We haven't done that for a long time. So use that promo code. support Nathan. Nathan, you guys is doing all this training for free. You guys, and he's also giving you his bots for free. So make sure you use his promo code, because he'll make a little bit of money off of that, right? He is a partner of mine, and I want to support him in any way I can, and so should you.
Thank you, Benson. I'll put it straight into the editing.
Oh yeah. Yeah, all this stuff that you're doing, man, is extremely expensive. You probably are worth $500 an hour. So a 12-hour thing, what's that, $6,000 that you spent to put this on?
Yeah.
Minimum.
Not only that, but also at the end of it, I have $1,000 Amazon gift card giveaway that I have to announce. So there's like $1,000 there. There's like the cost of the intellectual property, because I could easily sell this system for a couple $1,000s to each person, but I just give it away for free instead, because I know long-term relationships will make me more money. Because if I give it away to you guys and you guys put deals under contract, who are you going to call if they're in Florida? You're going to call me, and I'm going to make like 5 to 10K a pop selling your deals. So I'd rather do that and do a bunch of deals with you than get like quick little things of money. I'd rather have a long-term business relationship, make a lot more money.
Yeah, man. And you've built an amazing community here too. Like I'm really impressed with the questions and the interaction from people that are on this thing. And like, yeah, it's a long day, but you guys, this is well worth it. It's a good investment of your time to be here and learn from Nathan, get inspired, see all his new cool AI bots and the stuff that him and Ernesto are working on. So, man, it's been great to spend time with you. I really appreciate you inviting me on.
Thank you, Benson. Appreciate you too. Have a great day, bro.
You too. Bye, everyone. Thanks so much. Let us know if you have any questions. And actually, you know what?
Yeah,
I'm gonna plug my socials real quick, if you don't mind, man.
Yeah. Bro,
so if you want to follow me, you can just, I'm at Benson_REI is me on Instagram. Or if you go to Benson REI, that's me on TikTok. And then I've got a really cool podcast that you were on. I'm called the REI Hacker Podcast, and we've got all kinds of really cool, guests who come on, and we talk real estate investing, we talk entrepreneurship, and we do lots of cool stuff. And so here is my here's my YouTube. So if you guys don't mind, please follow me. I'd love to interact with you there, and it's some really fun, cool content.
Do you mind popping it in the private chat as well? That way I can comment it to my audience. So
there you go.
That REI Hackers podcast, that is a dope podcast. How many episodes are you on now?
I think we just hit 38 or 40, right around there.
Nice.
Thank you, Sherry. Thanks, Mr. White Jr.
Yeah, guys, show some love for Benson in the side chat. Let's give him a big thank you.
Thank you,
Benson is such a vital aspect to running the system. So as much as the CRM is important, if you don't have good data to feed that CRM, you're not going to get much done. So big thank you to Benson and the Privy team. Let's show him some love in the side chat. Hit him with some thank yous. Go follow him on YouTube, guys. Go subscribe to him on YouTube. Follow him on Instagram. He's got a really dope REI Hackers podcast. That REI Hackers, tell me, why should people watch it? I know why, but I want you to tell people.
Yeah, it's so I have the fortune. I'm fortunate to be hanging out in some cool rooms, right? So I'm part of this called the Family Mastermind. That's where I met Pace and Jamil. Was in the Family Mastermind. Lots of other cool mentors and coaches, people who own cool companies like REI Black Book and Connected Investor, and just like I'm very lucky, right? And so I have good conversations with these people, and they are now, it's open doors for me. So I can go and I can have frank conversations with people who are doing really cool things that we may not be able to learn from in the real world. So the podcast is an opportunity for me to give them a megaphone so they can talk about the cool stuff they're working on, the cool stuff they've done in the past, their inspiring stories of success and failure and getting in the business. And so it's really cool. And so I think there's some good stories here that you guys, where you can learn some things and learn some new strategies. You can get inspired, and then you can hear from some really cool people that you might not otherwise get to hear from.
Awesome. Well, I just dropped the link in the comment section. Guys, go subscribe to him on YouTube. Great podcast. I was on there. Love the dynamic on the podcast. Love the back and forth. And thank you so much, Benson. Dude, I'm so grateful
man.
for it. I know I tell you every single time, but you make me a lot of money. So I like money, and I like helping people, and I love sharing you with my audience, because you help other people make more money, which then helps them change their lives, which then helps them, provide for their family and their friends. And it's just great. So much abundance goes around with Privy.
Oh man, thank you, buddy. I really appreciate you as well. And yeah, looking forward to the next interaction, and you guys just keep rocking. You got, how many more hours you got to go?
So I was just thinking like we went so fast on it, and I almost don't want to water it down. So I might just take away the 8-hour part and just make masterclass. I have like at least 2 more hours of really juicy stuff. But at the end of the day, there's some gurus in the industry that will, just water it down and just talk for a really long time. I like to keep it like clear and concise and to the point. And since this went much faster than we were expecting, I might just nip it down and keep it like nice and compact, because I know when I watch something, I'm like, dude, this person's been repeating himself for like 45 minutes and I bounce. So out of mutual respect for other people, if we are able to get it done earlier, I'm just going to cut it there, and I'm not going to string it out.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again, brother. I really appreciate you. Bye, everyone. Have a fantastic day. Have a great week, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, Benson. Thank you.
Bye.
Yes. Awesome. Dude, Benson is so cool. Such a great guy, such a great software privy.